What's going on, guys? Mr. Spell here, and today we are going to be doing a little video about the best spell build in my opinion. Right now we're going to be using Spell Weaving, and as your secondary class we're going to be using Graveborn. One of the main reasons we're using Graveborn for the second class is for the Demon Lich Companion, which does actually cast out a spell whenever you cast a spell out matching the same damage type. And that's just based on his damage, how much damage he'll do, and whatever spell cooldown bullshit, all that crap. Now, the first thing you're gonna want to pick is Ambidextrous, alright? This is to dual wield spells. One of the best things in the game. More cooldowns, more spell damage, spells. This is gonna be a pure spell build, alright? And as you can see up here, the spell damage 10% per stack. We'll get to that later, but just keep that in mind. 10% of each stack we give spell weaving will be about 45. Let's round up to about 50% of that will be going to gun damage. So I didn't max it out immediately. I got 2 immediately in the crit chance, obviously, and then we're gonna hit 5 in the spell cooldown. Now you'll see why I got the spell crit hit chance later. Alright, you're gonna skip over this ward one because this one, your ward automatically, whenever you gain a stack of spell weaving, a portion of their ward is restored. So considering that we're not getting our shield up anymore, we don't need this, alright? Do not need that stack. There's going to be a lot of downtime. There's a specific shield in the game that gives you 100% extra damage when your shield is down, and that's going to be pairing in with this build extremely well. So we have that 30% damage there, and then we're going to max out the spell cooldown rate and do a little bit crit hit chance. So we need to get a little bit down more, so I'm going to drop in 3 more in there, and I'm going to throw 1 in there. Okay, just 1. You need this crit hit chance because it'll tie into this. Now this is where it gets nasty. Now you get the 3 extra spells, right? That's about 30%. Boom. We have a class mod that gives you 3 in there. That's now 60%. So it's about 30% gun damage. Wrong. Because later on, I'll show you in a little bit, right after I spec more into here. We're actually going to pop off 4 in there, 1 in there, 3 in there, pop your last one in there, and we're going to get the last but not least. Actually, yes, we are getting that last but not least. Because sometimes you have a weird cooldown phase, and if you can just have that time to pop a little bulletin, it'll refresh every stack of spells. Not just one stack, all 3 stacks of spells will be refreshed on that hit, okay? So I've seen a lot of people skipping down on this. Don't be skipping down on this, alright? No, just don't, okay? You're going to get your stacks right back, all the way back to 3, and you can pop 3 stacks just like that. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, like for example, you're down on the ground, all your spells are out. What's you're going to do? You're panicking. You have a gun, not doing damage. You hit a crit. Boom, 4 spells up. Done. Next guy's down. You're up. You're alive. So that's really one of the main reasons I keep this one going after much experience. Moving on to this one, you're going to use the spell cooldown rate. Obviously, for kill skills, we've been playing Chaos Dungeon because that's the end game content at the moment, so you're going to be getting a lot of spell cooldown per kill, and on top of that right there is just a base 45%. Go over to hero stats, boom, another 27. All right, so we're rocking about a 82%, no, let's say 45, no, 73, I knew it, yeah, 73% spell cooldown. Sorry, I'm bad with math at the moment. And this is where I was talking about the spell shot power. You see this? 48.7%. Now, 48.7 times 11 stacks. That's right. We're getting over 500% spell damage. That means we're getting over 250% weapon damage, okay? Now, do you see why I'm so particular about this one? Because if we got rid of this one skill, we took off this one class mod, we switched it out to like another Spellshot Graveborn, we're losing 3 stacks, right? You're like, oh no, just 3 stacks. That's what fire rate doesn't really matter, but that's freaking about 150% Spellshot power. Hence, 75% weapon damage, alright? That is a pretty big chunk of weapon damage you're missing, alright? So just keep that in mind for the spell shot power. If you're dropping one of these down, keep in mind that you're losing about 150% spell damage or about 75% weapon damage, okay? So we get that one done, that's alright, whatever. We're going to increase our dark magic damage. Why, you say? Because of this right here. Your spells now deal bonus dark magic damage. You're going to max this one out, max this one out, okay? So your dark magic damage is more applied. more powerful. And like I said before, whenever you cast a spell, your guns deal bonus damage, and now our spells deal bonus dark magic damage. Now our guns do bonus dark magic damage. And last but not least, I do have 3 points here. We're just going to throw 1 into here, so I have a chance of double attacking, casting 2 spells at once whenever you cast 1 spell. Especially when you get all these cooldowns and fire, it's going to be nasty. And last but not least, we're going to throw 2 stacks into here. I am missing 1 stack in here. Eventually, in the future, I will probably put my first point into this one, so I do get the extra 20% per stack. 2% per stack, which is 10 stacks, 20% extra damage. So I'm potentially missing out on about 20% spell damage here, which is, in my opinion, alright, considering your Demon Lich also casts double spells, basically, and you're just going to be popping those off. I was thinking about switching over to this one just for the more damage and, like, soul ability, but I'm just going to be trying out this one at the moment. So there's the overall build, alright? One of the more important things is, because I know everyone's using the Buffmeister right now because it's glitched, alright? This is not a Buffmeister build, alright? This is going to be the first build without Buffmeister, because I know Buffmeister is broken and it implies whatever your left skill is, that's the damage. So, like, for example, Buffmeister would only be applying 60% damage. Wrong. It would actually be applying 1,493 damage to all your guns and any projectiles and all your spells and everything. So that is one of the reasons that I'm not showcasing the Buffmeister in this build at the moment. Maybe in the future when it does get patched and everything, I might do a little updated version, because having the dark magic damage Buffmeister is really good for all your weapons and your skills abilities, and that just scales overall really well. But at the moment it's glitched, so I'm not going to be using that. What I will be using is some certain enchantments. So there are certain enchantments on this game that you want to get. It gets a little bit costly, so you gotta hope that you get them really soon, really quick, and cheap. Alright. So the first one I'm going to be using on this is the Burgeoning Arcane Bolt. By far one of my favorites on this game, a legendary spell. After scoring a critical hit with the spell, a portion of its cooldown is refunded. So you can get crit hits with the spell or your gun, and this thing just comes back right away, and you just pop it out right again. Look at that cooldown, 5.7 seconds. And with that cooldown, I get either 1 or less seconds every time. It's a little bit absurd how fast this thing comes back. Moving on, we come to the Jacketed Impaling Ice Spike. I'm actually considering this about as good as a legendary at the moment. This is probably like one of the key elements in every spellcaster's build. If you don't have an Ice Spike, I highly recommend you to get it. This is a high damage weapon, a low cooldown, 3 stacks, and does fat damage, alright? Right now I'm using on spellcast, increase gun damage by 30%. I do wish it was by like on spellcast, increase Kyro damage, but I am not getting that one at the moment. I am using Infused Joint Terrain of Obsession. This one's just giving me base lightning damage, spellshot power, stats effect damage, which is my dark damage, my lightning, my Kyro, etc. And then actually when it increases my critical hit chance. So my critical hit chance for my companion, it gets about 80%. And since I'm always hitting crits with my guns or my spells, this is increasing his critical hit chance. Therefore, when he gets a crit, and you know how he's using the double spell, he increases my critical hit damage for 30%. Now I create his critical hit chance, he creates my damage, extra damage. So that's one of the main reasons I'm using this one. It's been doing really well right now. This is a shit shield, honestly, the Blazing Bronco Buster. Whenever you... It's such a low shield, it has 0 capacity. You do move extremely fast when it breaks, so that's always good. And then your health regenerates while your ward is full. So whenever you're running around and everything, and your health, it does come back eventually. So that's always good. But the really reason I was using this is it's a legendary shield, and then I just got the on spellcast increased fire damage. I will be using like a sniper at the moment, because whenever I get a gun kill, gain area damage and spell radius. As well as, again, with you apply whatever element is to your gun, to your spells when they hit a crit. So if you have a fire weapon, your spells are going to be also doing fire damage on a crit. So then we move down here in the cleave. I was actually using the Spellshot Spore Warden for solo play because I liked getting revived a lot. But I did notice the lack of spell damage, so I swapped over to the Blood, the Graveborn, and Spellshot combo, because of the extra spell cooldown, and then the spell damage has been helping out a lot. with this. The only reason I'm really using this one is because of the +1 in the skill right here. The high thread count. If you get another class mod with a high thread count +1 in there, go for it. You know, try it out. Give it a shot. Alright. But I'm telling you this right here, as this one is the only one I have at the moment. It does give me 2 skills in my Spellshot tree, so I'm not really complaining. It's just the negative is Spore Warden, which is like meh, whatever. I did wish I only had a little bit better than Fire Rate, or the melee crit chance was like a spell crit chance or all damage, and this one been God roll. I have the 25% gun damage and 10% fire rate. That alone is a nasty for this build and helps out a lot with the downtime of your spells. The little down below, the after taking non-status effect damage, apply your fire status effect to the Fate Maker. Absolute dog shit. This thing is just terrible. And the reason I don't have this on is because every time I get hit, I'll immediately go on fire, and I usually end up going down state. It does give you increased movement speed and increased damage, but it is not beneficial really at all. Moving on, we have the Ring, Eat Well, and Exercise. This one really doesn't do anything special, just increase the spell damage effects by 25% when your health is about 50%, which would be basically all the time. So you're roughly going to be about like a 90% damage buff at the moment. I do have dog shit rolls on it, companion damage, shotgun reload damage, and assault rifle, so that's meh. And we have the spell damage here. This one actually has spell crit damage. I wish I had spell hit, critical hit chance, and then I wish I had the movement speed because I love movement speed. So there's the whole build together. That is that. I actually have to offer my pickaxe. This gives you increased movement speed, spell cooldown rate, and action cooldown rate for 6 seconds by 5 stacks, so that's about 30%. Using all this combined, whenever you're using the Chaos Dungeon, you get a lot of weapons and a lot of money on the ground. So whenever that drops on the ground, your spells are going up again, and you're moving faster and faster. So this one is also using on spellcast, use increased elemental damage by 20% for 5 seconds. I believe that if you really am looking like for perfect gears, find a good pickaxe, or find an axe, or a sword, whatever you want to call it, and get your perfect enchantment on it, and make sure you stick with that, because you're really not going to be using your pickaxe a lot, or axe, whatever. I keep calling it pickaxe because that's what it is. And you're just going to be running around with that. So we're going to be using the Fist of Corsair. And we'll do a little quick. This is just a what's going on, guys? Mr. Propel here, coming back from the video. This is going to be a little follow-up on that video here today. Just a little more optimization. I got a couple of chaos runs in here today, and I'm just gonna add this onto it. This is gonna be my new favorite SMG, the Jolting Livewire of Tree Trops. This thing is insane. It has a laser on it, and that chains to other enemies. And the reason we're using this specifically is because the chaining effect helps you with all your lightning damage you do, all the cryo damage you do, and then the major factor is right here, the Sever the Thread. You can get gun crit hits, have a chance to instantly reset all spell cooldowns, and because this is chaining through different enemies, you can get crits like nothing. So with this, you can basically proc that skill whenever you want. I optimized really hard here. Again, increase the elemental damage by 20%. Increase spell casting by lightning for 30%. We have in spell casting, we have even frost. We actually got a new shield, which is increased by 100% increased damage dealt to nearby enemies. So whenever you're down, you're getting that 100% damage increase. And, you know, considering that the shield never recharges because of the skills that we're using, you're basically potentially could have 100% damage all the time. We got some more spell damage here, some spell crit hit chance. Again, while health is above 50%, effects are increased by 25% for both of these. And that's about it. Really, nothing else was changed. Everything else is going to be the same. I'll give you a little bit of action gameplay right here. Let me just run up here. And if you'll see this, we are on Chaos 6 right now. A little bit higher from Chaos 4 that we were before. And it just snaps. 51k, insta-kill that, Shroom dead, other Shroom dead. It just absolutely murders everything in existence. We get a little 360, freaking snap. Boom, 49k, one tapping. Alright, I hope you guys like this build. Thank you for the update and watching, staying this long. And I appreciate you all. Peace.